Why? Oh hey, so today we are going to be discussing these. So for those of you who've been living under a rock for the last few months, lucky you.
I envy your innocence.
Right, so if you've been living under a rock for the past few months and have not yet been acquainted with this little plastic invasive species, allow me to explain. This is a fidget spinner.
A what?
A fidget spinner. It's a toy that is being marketed as being helpful for stress reduction, particularly for individuals with certain conditions, such as anxiety, autism, and ADHD. Its proponents say that it helps people, particularly children, to focus.
Grace, that sounds like it could help people.
Why wouldn't you be supportive of a thing that helps people?
Well, that is a great question. So here's the deal. Playing with a fidget spinner does help you to focus on the fidget spinner. If your goal is stress reduction and you need to escape your rapid racing thoughts and come back to reality, then yes, being present and focusing on something small and tangible, like a little spinning wheel, that can absolutely be helpful. It may also be helpful for people with autism. The evidence does not seem to support that, but hey, if you or someone you know who has autism has benefited from using a fidget spinner and it has helped them to function, then great. That's great. Functioning is so great. I love being functional. Speaking of which, you know what isn't functional? A classroom full of fidget spinners. Okay, so not only am I a teacher, I am also a person with ADHD. I have several videos about it because it's a big part of my life, for better or for worse. The thing about ADHD is that it does cause students to engage in self-stimulating behaviors to help them stay focused on class. Tapping of pencils, fidgeting in chairs, and snapping of fingers are some classic examples. Kids often get told to stop these behaviors for a very legitimate reason, because they are distracting to others. So not all self-stimming behaviors are distracting to others. Some effective self-stimming behaviors that I've seen include playing with silly putty, as long as you don't like pop it and snap it really loud, chewing flavored gum, and squeezing a good old-fashioned stress ball. What's great about the stress ball is that it actually engages your muscles, and physical activity is proven to ease ADHD symptoms. The other reason that I find the stimming behaviors that I just mentioned to be more effective is that they are self-contained and do not distract others. And the last reason that a fidget spinner is a horrible choice when one needs some self-stimulation is that fidget spinners provide visual stimulation, but not tactile stimulation, at least not very much. As a teacher, and someone with ADHD, but especially a teacher, I believe that we should not be teaching kids with ADHD to rely on visual stimulation that has nothing to do with class as a way to get through class. So just to vent for a hot sec, I have been teaching for a couple of years now. Not a ton of years, I'm still a pretty young thing, but I have been a teacher long enough to know what it felt like to teach before these things were everywhere and after. When I first walked into a classroom full of fidget spinners and tried to teach, it was heartbreaking. Like, here I am with so much love and passion and openness and willingness to meet my students where they are, and there they are, not able to access any of it because they are distracted by this mesmerizing spinning thing. And I get it. I don't blame them for a second. If I had a spinny thing I was not only allowed to use, but like actively encouraged to use in class, you bet your butt I'd be using it all through class. I'm getting distracted by it just trying to make this video about it. A theater teacher once told me that listening, true listening, is not just about your ears. To truly listen, you need to listen with your eyeballs. Why would we train children not to look at people when they're speaking? Like, could you imagine a kid from this fidget spinner era, all grown up, maybe going to a job interview, and then he just whips out his fidget spinner to help him listen to his potential employer. That would be rude. It is rude. And I think encouraging fidget spinners in class is encouraging kids to be rude. And like, they don't know they're being rude. They were encouraged to do this. It's not their fault. I don't blame them. I just think we need to be giving kids some more functional strategies to help them focus. Not the least of which is getting kids up and out of their chairs during the day, but that is a whole other can of worms. So basically, I think it boils down to this. There is a fine line between having compassion for someone and enabling someone. Fidget spinners are enabling. They're enabling for kids who have attention problems, and for kids who don't have attention problems, I think that a classroom full of fidget spinners, spinning and squeaking and being thrown and being dropped, that would make it hard for anyone to pay attention. Now, if a child has such severe ADHD that they can't sit still without watching a fidget spinner spin, like they really can't use any other self-stimming behavior that isn't disruptive to others, then that is a problem. Their disorder is not being properly managed, and they probably need to go see a doctor. Okay, so this is my last point about the fidget spinner epidemic, and it's probably my most important point. Kids with ADHD are already so misunderstood. Like, they already feel so different and incapable, and like they can't do things the way other kids do them. You know how you empower a kid who's in that situation? You help them find ways of helping themselves that don't draw more attention to themselves, and that allow them to exist in a milieu with other humans without being disruptive. You know what's disruptive? All these trucks going by. I will be the first to tell you that I was an incredibly disruptive child, and for me, learning how to help my brain work better in ways that didn't disturb others, as well as getting on a medication that made doing that a little bit easier, that made me feel empowered. Let's empower children by helping them solve their problems, not by catering to their problems, because this just causes more problems for everyone. What do you guys think about fidget spinners? Let me know in the comments below. Catch you next time.